7 Astros have already been hit in spring training baseball. Remember Durbs last week talking about how he'd react if he was still on the show.
They get the business.
Chad Durbin every week here on Off the Bench, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, our resident baseball expert. Spent 13 years in the show, took home a world championship, played for another. Still has great relationships in Major League Baseball. We can really talk anything. Durbs, what was the strangest thing that you were measured for or happened to you in the pre-draft process?
Well, nothing really happened in the pre-draft process, but once you get with the professional team and the 6'3" on your driver's license turns into 6'2"-ish, and it's different than walking down to the DMV and saying, yeah, 6'6",
yeah,
sure. But yeah, they didn't have the same measurables back then. You did your psych test on a sheet of paper, and if you were good enough, I think that guy took it and crumpled it up, the scout, and just kind of tossed it in the hotel lobby garbage can, and all right, let's take this kid. I like him. Whole lot different process for everybody now, and every year you're just hoping, man, I'd love to be 6'3" again. Let me be 6'3".
Durbs, you're one of these alpha males, one of these big athletes. I was in Woodlawn last weekend. Durbin's number is one of only 3 in Woodlawn's athletic history to have his number retired. Shout out to Durbs. What do you what was your impression? We hadn't had a chance to talk to you about this. What was your impression of Joe Burrow's senior season at LSU?
It's just he completely controlled every aspect of the game on and off the field. I mean, he's getting his master's degree whilst playing a Heisman level of football. It looked like when he came off the field, if you were to isolate a camera on him when he's not playing, that he's continuing to lead. He never showed. He showed frustration properly. He did what most alpha quarterbacks do, and they grab a guy. Hey, we need to run a better route. Like, I'll get you the ball. Just do what you're supposed to do. You do your job, I'll do mine, and we will win. He just looked like he completely controlled everything. He looked like a coach's kid.
Yeah.
He looked like a guy who has 2 older brothers that played. Never really looked rattled at all. Every time he got popped, I'm like, uh-oh, get the other guy going. He popped up and ran back to the huddle, whether or not he was, looking another way through his ear hole. But it just looked like the number one starter for a big league team. He looked like the point guard or the Greek freak on the court, like just takes control of the moment and makes it happen. And that happened in Texas in that throw to Chase. And from there, it just looked like, okay, I never felt like we were beat, because if he gets football in his hands and we have those athletes running in the field, we're going to score, or we're going to at least keep the ball from the other team.
So we talked about all year long. It was like it was like watching a Marvel superhero. You just knew in the end he was going to get it done.
That's what I'm going to miss the most about this team, being able to talk so much trash.
Yeah, but that's why. Let's be painfully clear about this. Everybody trying to turn the page next season, and I love these conversations. We're going to have them, but get your trash talking in. Like, lord this over your friends. I'm going on a bachelor party with Alabama kids next week, and you best believe that your boys is going to be dragging my purple and gold
Just
stuff all over them. Durbs, relevant question here. How big are your hands?
No idea.
Oh, come on, Durbs. You're a professional pitcher. They don't measure y'all's hands?
No, you get measured in how you get people out.
Wait, okay, so all jokes aside,
the radar gun's the measurement.
I mean, I find that kind of shocking, though, right? Like baseball's always been at the forefront of analytics, and you would think that maybe your hand size could really affect how you throw a ball. So they don't put the NFL puts all this stock in.
They 100% measure all that now.
Okay.
A guy like Aaron Nola is he's longer than he is tall. Like, he's probably got a 6'7", 6'8" wingspan. So when it's a perceived velocity, like the ball looks like it's 95 or 97 and it's really 92, like, I unfortunately probably was shorter than I am 6'2".
Yeah.
So I had to make the ball do stuff late. I didn't have that perceived velocity. So it is measured. That's why you see the 6'6", 6'7" kids running out there. Like a Beck throws 88, 89, but it looks harder. He's letting go of the ball closer to the plate. I mean, those measurables do exist. I didn't have, a lot of those measurables. I had to get it done in different ways. So you figure it out. If you're an athlete and you can adapt, then that's what they want out of pitchers, especially. The pro guys are looking for athletes who can adjust and adapt quicker, because we're all putting in the same amount of time.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of who put in the 10,000 hours. Everybody did at that level. Now who's making the adjustments fastest?
We're talking to Chad Durbin, World Series champ, big leaguer. I mean, there's nobody better to talk baseball with. And so we got to talk about the Astros, Durbs, because you talked about how you would be taking a little street justice if you were still on that mound. And, I mean, Alex Bregman said it on Part of My Take a couple years ago. That's his favorite part of the game is you do something dumb, and the unwritten rules are going to come back to bite you. 7 players have now been beamed with Alex Bregman getting hit yesterday. What's your reaction when you hear that?
Well, the police are out, and it's gonna happen. Some of it's gonna be maybe on purpose. Some of it's gonna be, just the product of throwing in a game, and it gets away. And you're gonna hear a lot of those comments in post-game interviews. Ball
just got away.
Ball got away from me. Yeah.
So, I mean, they must be playing with some slippery balls at Astros games this year. What's going on?
And I don't know that you'll see any of the reality of this until the season really starts and the 26 guys are out there playing against each other, because you never know. I mean, there are going to be team meetings before. Hey, guys, we're not drilling them. We're not going after them. And then the first pitch of the game might be in somebody's ribs because the human element's still there. And these are a bunch of alphas. Like the alpha might nod his head in the meeting, and he'll keep nodding his head when the guy gives the sign. And
I got you, Coach.
Definitely, Coach.
I got you, Coach.
Whoops, suspended. But no, I think it'll be. Again, we said it last week, and I think we've revisited this. They're going to get hit, and some of it's going to be on purpose, some of it's not. But they've got to embrace it, and it doesn't look like anything so far has come out where they're complaining afterwards that they're getting drilled or anything like that, because they've probably been told by their PR guys, just stay mum.
Take the licks.
Don't light the fire again and again and again. Let's get back to playing baseball and putting a good product out there. Dusty Baker's old school as it gets, and a great players manager. So he's going to have their backs. He'll do the talking for them. He'll be the guy that, flips a chair on his way out of a press conference or whatever, and he'll control that narrative.
Durbs, I don't know if you've had a chance to see Maurice Hampton Jr. play yet. I saw him track a ball in center field on Sunday, and then last night, all 4 opportunities at the plate, he reached base all 4 times. To me, he looks like what a Major League Baseball player looks like at 19. Is that what they look like?
Yes, that's what they look like. You really, absolutely. Watching him catch a ball off his thumbs and push it down the left field line for a double, last night, and he's just going to be a little bit more, athletic and explosive than the other 19-year-olds that don't have the same mass on their body or the same ability to explode. Liking to see him track these balls in the outfield. He has the athleticism to go do it, but he's having to do it as a 19-year-old, just like these other 19-year-olds that are figuring out. We will really see where all these guys are when we're playing Texas and Baylor and Oklahoma. We're going to face some pro-level arms. Not that they haven't faced some good pitching yet, but it's different when you play the depth of these other rosters that are very similar to our roster. So you will see what guys are made of, the Doties and the Milazzo, all these guys adjusting to, a higher level of pitching, a higher level of expectations. They're no longer reading their perfect game showcase profile. They're hitting 125 and they need to get better, or they've had success early and now we need to continue to have it. Where you see a Mathis who's got a couple years under his belt. He looks like he's been here for years. He plays with an energy and a smile. I mean, I'd be smiling too if I was hitting 500 or whatever he is.
Right.
But Maurice Hampton is fun to watch because when you see him do something, you're like, oh yeah, I want to see what that looks like next year and the year after that.
Yeah.
And let's see what goes on. Stole a base last night and just exploded into the bag. There's just something different. And what that's going to do, it's great because that's going to make the other guys push the accelerator more on the training side or in the cage. Like, you're going to have to redefine what work looks like so that you can keep up with a guy like that. It rises the tide.
That's awesome.
And the scary thing about Hampton was that he became a key component on the national championship team as a freshman safety.
He did. His emergence late in the year
it was
freed up
a
Delpit
storyline.
and Stevens.
Hey, Durbs, one thing I've always been, and I know you didn't play college baseball. You went straight from Woodlawn to the Kansas City Royals farm system. Do they steal signs in college baseball?
They steal signs whenever possible. Whenever somebody's dumb enough to show it and repeat something that they're doing, yeah, of course. I mean, if a guy flares a glove on the mound when he throws his changeup and he doesn't when he throws his fastball, everybody on the bench is going to know in about 3 pitches. Same thing with guys on second base looking in. If a guy is going first sign or he's going last sign or whatever, they're going to pick it up really quick. And whether it's a touch of a helmet or a look back to the base to tell them fastball or look towards third base to show off speed or location, all of that stuff, why not? I mean, nothing's wrong with that, because if you can't adjust to that, then there's really, I mean, and Will Clark came out and said, man, why weren't we making adjustments to it? Well, some teams did, some teams didn't. Some teams were unaware of it, and that's on their coaching staff. So the police are always out, and I mean, they steal signs in 12-year-old ball.
Yeah.
If you're not doing it the right way, or at least masking it to some level, or having the ability to change in the middle of a game, I mean, you're going to get beat with it.
I mean, if Jordy was a baseball guy, 1,000% Lil J's team would be banging trash cans. I mean, I have zero doubt in my mind. Exactly.
Derbs, this is a listener favorite segment. We look forward to it every week. We'll talk to you next Thursday.
Appreciate it, guys.
Later man.